country and the continuous war against terrorism and armed banditry by the Nigerian military, coupled with current economic situation that makes inflation inevitable, supporters of the ruling All Progressive Congress are hopeful that President Tinubu will win the 2027 election. This comes the back of Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, calling for the resignation of President Tinubu. Now, joining us live as we take a look at the current administration scorecard ahead of the 2027 general elections in Nigeria is Comrade Umar Jijiwa, Director General, Presidential Support Organization. Umar Jijiwa, what a delight to have you on Daybreak this morning.
Thank you.
This appears to be the biggest conversation, the Nigeria's democratic future as we midwife this political transition. There are concerns about the performance of government ahead of amidst the widespread killings in the country. Why do you still think that Nigerians should vote for President Tinubu ahead of the 2027 elections?
You know, I think Aswaji is going to win, not just simply because of the fact that he's popular, but also when you look at strategy. And when you're talking about politics, you know, you have to put things aside. And he has a job to do, and that's to be president. And we have a job to do, and that's to keep him president. You see, so when you look at a few things that have been happening when it comes to security issues all over the world, you would have to just say that we are going to do our best as we are doing now. But I think that they can do better, not because they were not doing better before, but because the reward for hard work is more work. I believe they're doing very well. And when you look at security or insecurity, you need to go back and start thinking about the root cause. You see, sometimes we only see things at the surface because we are not up to that level when it comes to the security clearance of this country to actually understand a few things, you know, and we cannot make a final decision based on information that we see just on media.
So you don't think that security being a critical aspect of governance in terms of its key performance indicators also embedded in Section 14 of the Constitution, which says that security and welfare would be the primary responsibility of government, and failure in that aspect, if you're to use just recently the President Keir Starmer standard, which seems to be even a child's play compared to what we experience in Nigeria, do you think that the President Tinubu should still be considered in terms of electing him for the 2027 presidential seat?
Well, the question is this: who else should be considered? You know, I mean, amongst the ones that we have, he's the best. So who else do you want to? Now, you have to now make a decision based on a pool of people that are available for you to choose as president. Not just for you to pick from somewhere because they're so good. No. They must have political parties, they must win their primaries and make it to the general election, and then you now make a decision amongst that small group of people, not the whole Nigeria, that you can say, okay, they are all not good enough. At the end of the day, it is either you don't come out to vote or you vote within these particular parameters of this small number of people. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, there's some people who make the argument that in the last election, religion played a big role, which is that Peter Obi was able to make inroads with the Christian vote in the North and the Middle Belt. Now, we're still waiting for confirmation of who President Tinubu's running mate will be. How important is religion to you? Do you think he should continue with the Muslim ticket, or should he show some representation and bring in a Christian vice president to balance out all these allegations of Christian genocide? There are some who allege the Islamization of the nation and of the government and so forth. What's the winning ticket for you?
I think the winning ticket for me is a ticket that is going to win an election at the end of the day. You are right. In the last elections, some people voted based on their own bias and based on religious matters. And you are very correct. Peter Obi is the ultimate beneficiary of that kind of politics. Whereby Northern Christians voted overwhelmingly for him. That is a fact. But for me, I believe we need to take religion out of politics. It is too dangerous for us to keep it inside politics. You see, the quality of a man and his efficiency to rule anything shouldn't come from his religion or what he does. No, it should come from his capacity and his ability to lead a nation, to groom the next generation, to grow this country from where it is, not where he is from or what he worships. Okay, now, are you also telling me that the people that don't even have religion have no right? They should also be considered. So a Muslim ticket, Christian ticket, no religion ticket, that should even be in the conversation as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, but if we're looking at the permutations, because there are some people who feel these sensitivities. So I understand your position, and truly, in an optimal situation, that's what we would hope for. But there's still a lot of sentiments around it. So do you think that it's time to look at the permutations and say there are numbers? If we say Muslim, Christian, then there are more numbers that can be mobilized.
I believe Nigerians should be more than numbers. Nigerians are real people, and they need leadership. Nigerians need leadership. Yes, we are having a hard time now in this country based on some things that have happened, and of course some measures that the president has taken that has made life a bit harder for some people in the hopes that the future will be better. But at the end of the day, Nigerians are not just figures. Nigerians are Nigerians. Let us not look at that. Let's not look at that, because figures are just figures on paper. These are human beings that have families and everything. They should go home and sleep safe, wake up safe. They should have the best in life. They should be able to be happy working for their country. They are more than numbers. And that is why we keep telling people that voter apathy is the root cause of all the issues that we have in Nigeria. Because when you look at democracy in itself, how it's designed, how it's made, it's very simple. You said you want to lead. I gave you 4 years. Come back, tell me what you have done. If it is good enough, I send you back. If it is not good enough, you go home. That is simple democracy. Okay. And that is what we want to see. But you're right. We are not in an ideal situation. And we might never be. But our own thinking is that we will be eventually. Okay,
Comrade Umar Jijiwa, that conversation takes us, compels us to review the account of stewardship of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last over 3 years. It came out with some very audacious reforms, the unification of the Naira and also the removal of fuel subsidy, which had only yielded some level of macroeconomic stability. But there is still a policy plate gap of impacting in terms of the microeconomic reality of the common man in Nigeria, with a lot of people still rolling into the poverty basket. How do you explain this in the last 3 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Poverty is a serious issue in Nigeria, not today. It did not start yesterday. It did not even start during Buhari. It did not start during Jonathan or Yar'Adua. Poverty has been a serious issue in this nation. I mean, when you look at history, let us understand this. Look at history, especially in the north of this country. I can remember quite clearly when I was coming up, you will see families carrying their children, sending them to scholars to go there and be groomed there and be taught how to read the Quran and all that. And now we find people sending those same children out to go and beg and bring back money. So poverty is a serious issue. It didn't start today. It started from the moment that it started, and that is the moment Nigeria was made. But yes, poverty alleviation is a major issue, and we have to remove people from that poverty circle and raise them up into the middle class. How do we go about and do that in a country that we have this number of people? Now, that's the question that we need to ask. Now, when it comes to poverty, I believe the president has done one or two things to help. How? At least now, we have people that don't have to pay their school fees. In fact, they even get pocket money for them to even send home from time to time. Even when they're on holiday, they still receive that money, that pocket money, from Nel Fund. You see, we have credit card for young people that want to go into business. It started now, and yes, you're right. It might be quite hard right now due to the fact of the removal of subsidy. But I think this was something that was already bleeding us. And when we look at history and we look at the damage that has been made and the fraud in subsidy, let's just thank God that it is not here anymore.
But, okay.
Comrade, do you think there's hunger in Nigeria?
There is anger or is there hunger? Which one are you asking?
Hunger, lack of food, hunger.
Okay. There's hunger. There is hunger.
Okay, because the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, said that he doesn't see hunger. So the concerns is that the president and the people around him don't seem to see things the way you see, and you're the support organization. But the person you're supporting is represented by people who don't see what you're seeing daily. So why are you endorsing somebody who doesn't see the reality of hunger that you are seeing as you interact with the grassroots in your support organization?
You see, everybody only knows what he knows. Yes, perhaps Bayo Onanuga might have said that, but I mean, the president in every single speech that he has ever made, every single speech the president has ever made, there is one thing it has in common. He always says to Nigeria, please bear with us. We know that you are struggling. We know that you are hungry. We know, but we have to take these measures that we're taking so that we can be able to pull Nigeria out. So Bayo Onanuga making that statement is just Bayo Onanuga making that statement. Because the president, when he makes it by himself, he always looks into that issue of hunger, poverty, and the problems that Nigerians are facing on a daily. That was Bayo Onanuga. And he's not the only spokesman of this government. So if he does not see it, because perhaps, he might be in the office in the villa, he might, and that's why we are a support organization, because we're the ones that see it, and then we bring it up, and we get them. You see, we have to be the connection between the people and the leadership. Because if these particular support organizations are not in place, they will lose contact. And the more you lose contact in government, the less the government are going to see the problems, and the less the people are going to see their solutions. And that is our own movement here. You see, we try our best to push out the issues that we see so that we can be able to tell the government that, look, there's a problem here, there's a problem there.
Okay, now the issue of state policing seems to be the biggest conversation in the land, and there are some growing concerns about the concept and the structure being politically hijacked by the incumbent administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while some feel that this is the way to go. What's your stance on state policing, and how would you react to those who feel that it's a politically orchestrated attempt for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to hijack this electoral process?
That is just their assumption and insecurity. For me, I see the need for state police. And let's not deceive ourselves. If you're in government today and you use state police to your effect, you will be out of government tomorrow. It will be used against you. And that is a fact. But what I'm talking about here is that we need state policing. Not only state policing. If we can even get neighborhood policing, we need it. If we can get civilian policing, we need it. We have to drag the traditional institution into the game. We have to give them a constitutional responsibility. Because they are the ones that actually have the institutional knowledge of most of this country. We have to also give that a go. You see, when it comes to security, everybody has a role to play. If anybody uses his opportunity and uses his office to abuse it, he should also remember that it can be used against him, because he's not going to be there forever. And that's just what I'm going to say. But I don't believe the president needs to do that to win an election. I believe he has enough to win. I think he has enough to win.
Okay, let's talk about having enough to win, because several people are saying that when you look at the dynamic, you see that the southern part of the nation is producing more candidates, and there's one northern candidate. How is Tinubu's popularity in the north?
Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is still popular in the north. He has enough to win. He has enough to win. You see, for me, as a young person that I am, till today, I'm still wondering, why are we doing this? Why are we saying from this place, from that place, from here, when we know that it is human beings that drew maps and said that you are from Lagos and from Abuja? We didn't choose it here. Why is it? Why must it be here? Look, we need to push this kind of things away and make a decision as a country. And again, I want to ask Nigeria whether popularity should be the main point when you are looking for leadership. Is it just popularity, or is there another aspect that we should look at? These ideas that we are bringing up, are they extinct ideas that we have in politics, or should they remain? This whole rotational thing, things like consensus, things like zoning. We have to have a conversation about these things. Because for me, I did not even ask a question. I did not even wonder where anybody is from, because I didn't choose where I'm from. You see? But I understand the Constitution also protects that. How? You have to have 25% all over. You see? So that has brought equality, and I understand it. Now you see, even if you have 100 million votes from one state, if you are unable to make that 25% in other places, you have wasted your time. So yes, there might be an advantage in the north due to the numbers of people, you see. But I believe when you look at political strategy, you look at it critically, you will see that he has enough to win. He has enough to win. Let's not forget that for you to win Nigeria, you need 25% across board. Tell me now. Let me even accept the fact that, okay, the North might give the vote to Atiku. Let's not forget, it happened with Buhari too. Did that make him president? It did not. You can have more than me in numbers of votes. If you are unable to reach the constitutional threshold, you have wasted your time. That is strategy. So you are not looking for everybody to love you, no. You only need enough to win.
Okay.
All right, Benga. Well, on that note, well, excuse the delay. I'm all the way in Lagos. Comrade Jijiwa, this has been quite an insightful conversation. I still have so many questions, and I know our viewers as well are itching to ask.